Welcome to this vlog, which is me back in the ER. I just realized exactly a week ago we came home. My dad's right there. And now, exactly 1 week later, we're back. So for the past 3 days, I've had a fever on and off, which is abnormal. I don't run fevers often, even when I'm sick. Like, literally. Like, I had a fever when I had what we think is the flu. Might have been something else, I don't know. Back in February, that was the first time I got a fever in like years. So, like, a fever worries us. And I had no other symptoms, just a fever for 2 full days, just a fever. So there was that. And then it kind of got better, and then it got worse again yesterday afternoon. I just was not feeling it all of a sudden, because up to this point, I wasn't feeling too bad. But by yesterday afternoon, I wasn't feeling that great either, and I had fever, and I was freezing, and I developed a cough, and then I was having some chest pain, mainly on the left side of my chest. So obviously, when you have a central line, the first thing you want to do is go to the ER if you suspect a fever. But because I don't have a history of infections with central lines, I mean, I've had every type of central line, we didn't, we kind of wanted to wait it out. It would have been completely different if a pandemic was not on our hands. We talked to my doctor, and she did stat blood work. And the reason why we came in the ER today was actually not because of that at all, but because for the past 3 or 4 nights, and this type of thing also happened in the hospital last week, is support issues while infusing TPN and lipids. So basically, whatever is happening, it keeps occluding throughout the whole dang night. The IV pump beeps all night long saying occluded. It does not matter what position I am in. Yes, it's the correct needle. We have asked many different people. It's correct. It's all the way in. It's secured as much as it can be. I mean, it was literally like a fortress. Sorry, there was a notification on my screen I swiped away. And what also happened was I just kept having to press the needle down. So, like, it kept getting up just enough to where I had to push it down, and when it was up, it was leaking. So we don't know, like, it just didn't make any sense. And then also, I had to have middle of the night port needle changes. So, after 3 days of not getting great sleep, for me or for my brother Joshua, because he just heard it all night, we came here today, and we came to the realization that at this point we need whatever's going on with my ports, whatever's going on with it, but we need a PICC line for my TPN and lipids, because I just can't, because I've been off of TPN since 2 a.m. and I've been on them now for a couple of hours, thankfully, and that's because I got a PICC line. So, yeah, there it is. I'll insert some footage there, but it went pretty smooth, and, yeah, I did it a week, if you're curious, and to me, I don't mind it being awake. I didn't really feel anything. I just felt the initial pinch from the lidocaine being, put through, and then after that, I didn't really feel much. So yeah, so there's that, and you might be like, and so I accessed my port today after we did a port dye study to see if there was anything wrong, and the skin was so warm and looked angry. It wasn't post, and it didn't look like a rash, it just looked really angry. So, we were concerned about that, and then they got the results of the dye study. There is a kink in my port. We originally, in 2018, when I did a dye study, then same port, before my first revision, they found a kink. But it's been smooth sailing up until now, and they said there definitely still is a kink. So, yeah. So they wanted to do another study to get more pictures, and we get there, and they're able to push a tiny bit in, and when they draw back blood, I mean, it's not blushing, but when they draw back blood, it's drawing back blood, but blood clots, which is not good, which means there's a blood clot in my port. I literally had one 2 weeks ago, and it's just like, nothing can ever be simple. Like, we came in here thinking something simple, that, hey, we'll give my port a break, we'll get a PICC line. We know PICC line is more of a temporary line, it's not a forever line, but maybe my port just needs a break. Maybe it's just super irritated, or maybe there is something going wrong. We want to know, but we did not anticipate that would be admitted. And originally, the ER doctors didn't want to admit me just based on the possibility I have an infection. Sorry, my mom called me. Yeah, basically there's a blood clot in my port, and they're doing some TPA in it, which is the clot buster. It's also known as cath flow. That's what I used 2 weeks ago. So, yeah. So hopefully it works pretty fast, so we can redo that study, and so I can be de-accessed for a while, because it seems like we're just gonna give my port a break for a couple of weeks and just utilize the PICC line. But that's all that we know of right now. In terms of an infection, the worry is that because my port side is warm compared to the other side of my chest, and I've had a fever, the doctors upstairs basically didn't want to send me home when there could be a potential line infection, and I'm on TBN, so yeah, that's what's happening. So I'll update you guys when we're in our hospital room. Hopping in here because things got really crazy really fast after this clip. So I was admitted, and not even 20 minutes after getting in a room, the doctors came and told me that I was positive. I had a positive blood culture for my port, meaning I had a port infection. They weren't 100% sure if it was an infection or not, because they thought maybe it was contaminated, but it wasn't, because for the next 4 days they did cultures twice a day. And it was positive, and they switched antibiotics twice, and it was just not going away. I was getting worse. Actually, I first of all didn't vlog Thursday or Friday, and I have absolutely no memory. Both Thursday and Friday are pitch black in my memory, but from what my parents have told me, it was not good at all. My vitals were really bad. I was in a really bad state. At one point, I was shivering so much that I was like, I don't think I'm having a seizure, but it literally feels like I'm having a seizure. Like, I was shaking so much, so uncontrollably. It was absolutely insane. And because things happened so quickly and I went downhill so fast, it is very, like, all the clips are just, like, very sporadic. So I wanted to put this part in here because the next vlog will be me having emergency surgery to have my port removed, and then kind of an update after that, because after my port surgery things got even worse. I had a lot of complications, and it was not good at all. It was not good. So yeah.